Hey everybody, how are you all today? Hope you're all doing well. Hello people, hope you're all having a good day today. Uh, Welcome to our life people. I'm going to be heading out shortly. Hello Programming Master, hello KN. How you doing this morning? I hope you're all doing well. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Hello, how are you doing today? Welcome to my live. Hope you're all having a good day so far. Hello Seb, how you doing? Good morning to you. Like the live people. Hope everybody's having a blessed day so far. So I'm going to be going out for a walk soon and I'll take you guys with me. And yeah, thank you for the like, whoever that is. Hello, welcome in. Hello, Sig. Hello, Selma. How you doing? Good morning to you. Hope you're having a blessed day. Make sure you like the live. Hello, Umar. How you doing from Morocco? All right, Morocco. Yeah, welcome in here. Nice to meet you, Umar. How you doing today? Hope all is well with you. Make sure you like the live, share the live, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get it popping in here. Yeah. So if you've got any questions, health, fitness, anything like that, then put it in the chat. Yeah, I'm doing fine, thank you. Good to see you. If anybody's new here, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. So yeah, my name is Jamie. What about you? Welcome in, everybody. Nice to meet you all. Yeah, like the live people. Come on, there's 25 people here. One like. Let's like the live people. Come on. Yeah. Why is no one really liking the live? Yeah. Whatever. Okay. So yeah, let's just. All right. Yeah. I hope everybody's doing well today. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't know. We'll just like try and figure something out. What we're gonna discuss. I sometimes talk about just life and how life is kind of yeah, basically how to kind of navigate this whole system that we're in right now, and yeah, that's what I tend to talk about a lot. Like, tend to talk a lot about how to, kind of how to really try to make the most of this situation that we're in and live your best life. Basically, that's what I like to talk about. Give people some inspiration and yeah, how to get rich other than business. I think like investing would probably be a good one if you've got the money for it. It depends how much money you've got, but I think business is probably going to be one of the best ways to get rich. If you want to get rich, that is, I mean, the thing is, if you're working for somebody else, you're going to get capped at a certain amount of money. Even in some high up, like occupations, that they can be quite limiting in a way, like that you're not going to necessarily get super rich unless you get really, really high up, and then you're having to work so many hours a week just to get that, high amount of money. So unless you're smart and you just like invest your money, which you could do if you start making a lot of money, then if you get into like a high position, maybe if you invest in the right things into the stock market or whatever, and you put a few pounds a day into it, and eventually that can make you passive income that you can live off, and then you don't have to work, or you can work less, you have a bit more freedom. Doctor working hospice and clinic. Oh yeah. So you have to study for that then, isn't it? It's gonna take time. It's gonna take several years. So you just gotta grind it out, But whatever is worth having in life, it's not gonna come easy. So you gotta realize. People have to realize that they want something in life. They're gonna have to really fight for it. They're really gonna have to work. Sort of like. They're gonna have to work so hard that they start questioning like, is this even the right path at times? Because oftentimes you might not even see much results from what you're doing, but that is just natural to be like that. That's just how things go. Hello, Squirrel Sniper, good to see you again. So I'm just saying that if you want to get results in something, then yeah, at times you might question things, but that's just natural. That's just what tends to happen. Like with people, it's normal to question your path. You just have to have the faith that it's going to pan out, even if the results aren't showing yet. Like for example, you go to the gym, you're a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks into training, you don't really see any results, but you're not really going to see results in that time. But if you keep going consistently, then, and if you're doing things right, the thing is, if you're still not seeing results after 2, 3, 4 months, then okay, maybe you're doing something wrong. Go back to the drawing board, figure out what you're doing wrong, and then proceed from there. But yeah, what's your opinion on relationship, etc? I was in a relationship, but she distracted me and always wanted my attention the whole time, and then I quit her because I don't want to waste time. Yeah, you made the right choice there, I think. Anyway, like the live people, got 7 people here and 2 likes. So yeah, if you'd like to support me, then yeah, just hit the like, subscribe if you're new, and share the live out if you can. But yeah, you want to be with someone that's actually supporting you, not someone that's actually distracting you. She should actually be supporting you. If you're supporting her, she should be supporting you in your endeavors, because otherwise it's just this one-sided relationship. If she's not actually offering you any support, then I would just cut that off. If you have self-respect, then you're just gonna not tolerate any of that, because it's kind of a bit simpy, to be honest. Like when you're giving them all your attention, but they're offering nothing in return, or very little in return. So yeah, paying attention is the highest form of currency exchange in this realm. Yeah, exactly. So because it's time that you're never going to get back. And if they're not valuing your time and you're not getting anything for that, then they don't deserve you in their life. Hello, Sally Jane. What's this? If you're trying to be a doctor, then that's what you need to focus on now. Yeah. Try not to focus on a woman who just doesn't actually support you, because it ain't going to be worth it. Trust me. It's going to take up so much of your mental bandwidth, and yeah. Many forms of relationships, humor, not just lovers. Yeah. It could be like friendships, even like family can, like the people talk about, people having relationship, not like, but as in like that they just kind of have, like a sort of bond with their family, even just like focus on the people that are around you that support you. And yeah, hope everyone's having a good day today anyway. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm going out soon, but yeah, just gotta focus on what's most important for you now, because once you actually are successful, actually get someone that's someone that you actually click with, someone that actually is ambitious like you, So unfortunately, a lot of women don't want a guy who's, not really doing that well in life, even if he's starting to make progress. Oftentimes, they'll be waiting at the finish line, which is, yeah, which means that they're kind of, what you'll find is that they're oftentimes they'll go for men that are older than them and more established. There's this thing called hypergamy, where women tend to go for men that are earning more than them or have higher status than them. Because I guess it's kind of like a way for them to like leverage off that. And I mean, I'm not saying all women do this, but it's kind of like it's something that has been well studied, and this is what happens a lot. I suppose it's like just instinctual. It's that men would have been like the providers, and then women used to be more kind of like less of the provider. But obviously things have been sort of changing. But there's still this kind of instinct in a lot of women to actually want a man that's doing better than they are. But yeah, just try to focus on getting to a high level, because if you do want a relationship at some point, then you want to be at a point where you're not going to be distracted so much, and so you want to be able to, because then you're going to be able to have someone that respects you, because you're not going to put up with BS. Because oftentimes guys might put up with more than they should be when maybe they don't have that many options, possibly because they're young, they're just kind of like not as many women are as into them, so they just kind of put up with more abuse and more, and just BS really. But hello King David Smith, so as you become more well off, more well-rounded, then it's going to give you more options, which is then in turn going to make you less needy. It's going to make you less likely to tolerate any BS. So that's why I think it's important for guys to concentrate on your own goals, because it's just going to be the best ROI in the long run. You're going to live a better life in the long run for yourself, and the quality of women that you end up with is going to be exponentially better. The women's movement has gone a bit too far. So many women put men down now, and I don't like that. Yeah, I get that. Because it used to, I thought that feminism was supposed to be about equal rights for women. But now there's a thing called the 4B movement I've been hearing about, where it's like some kind of like boycott thing or something, or it's like no marriage with men, no sex with men, and all this. It's like, what the fuck? But they don't see why maybe men are voting for Trump because the left men or something. It's like the men left don't seem to actually care about men. I don't think any of them really do, to be honest. But at least on the right, they seem to be a bit more kind of listening to men's issues. And so I think that's what a lot of it's about. But someone was saying that there's this whole thing about like the left is also associated with like weak men, like these like soy boy types, these kind of like, and that's kind of like might be like a lot of these men don't want to be associated with the left because of what the left is associated with. Perhaps, I mean, that could be part of it as well. That I suppose there's certain things like on the right, it's more. They seem to be a bit more like about self-responsibility, self-reliance, which is something that the left isn't so much about, and that's something that a lot of these more like masculine type of men that they want to tend to vote for more right-wing type of governments or whatever. So I think that's a big part of it as well. But to me, voting is just I'm not even going to argue about any of this stuff anymore. But yeah, basically, but we're seeing the whole basically Trump winning thing is just triggering so many women. Hello, Jerry. Yeah, it's not too great, but it is what it is. Are you doing your busking today? You got it right, Jerry. Yeah. But I think there was still quite a high minority of women who voted for Trump, though. So it was like 56 to 44 or something like that. I don't know. It was quite a high minority of women who voted for Trump. So it wasn't like they were acting like it was all men who voted for Trump, but it wasn't. There was a lot of women who also voted for Trump. So yeah. But it's just absolutely ridiculous. Lefty loosey, righty tighty is an old phrase. No, just to undo things. What do you mean? Oh yeah, are you on about the undoing things, lefty loosey, righty tighty? Yeah, I remember that. When you're like screwing things, yeah. Well, all these left and right are both screwed us all over us. So yeah. Anyway, like the live people, got 6 people here, 2 likes. Yeah, can we get the likes up? Right, I'm going to be setting off, I think. But yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous the way that, like, all it's going to do is just make more and more men go to the right, you know? So that's what they're going to be doing, like, just... that's the thing, it's like, how is that actually advocating for men? Like, it's just... Because if they actually started advocating for men, then they'd actually get more people on their side. Like if you heard, say like, I don't know, the liberals or whatever, socialists, start talking about men's issues, then they might actually get more people on their side if they start to actually celebrate masculinity and stop masculinity in men. Not because the thing is, it's like it's celebrated in women, but it's demonized in men. That's the thing. It's like they're celebrating women becoming boss babes, but if a man wants to become, some kind of like executive or whatever, some high up position, he's demonized and said, "Oh, he's greedy. He's a he's a product of the oppressive patriarchy," or some crap like that or something. Just going out to my volunteer place this morning, so yeah, I'm just gonna get me stuff, but I'm taking you guys with me. So yeah, so this is the thing. It's the like double standards that really annoys me. Like when, yeah, it's good to be masculine if you're a woman, but like if you're masculine as a man, then that's bad. Like, what the fuck? Men are supposed to be more. I'm not saying every man should be hyper masculine or anything like that. I think that there's a balance, but like, kind of, it's just been kind of so inverted and, it's just absolutely, I don't know. Let men be men, we need men. Yeah, but then they're telling men they don't need men, which is then just going to further disenfranchise them, make them feel useless. So is it any wonder that men are dropping out of society when they're told, "Oh, we don't need you"? And then you've got all these men now just being like, "Right, we're just going to, okay, then you don't need us. Okay, fine, we'll not even pursue you anymore. We're just going to play video games or whatever that they enjoy, maybe fishing or whatever, and just completely be done with women." So they've actually just created their own problem. Like by doing that, they're not exactly doing themselves any favors. They're not, yeah. So like, yeah, they just end up being single for life. Cat mother. Then they'll cry about, "Oh, like where are all the good men at?" Well, because you pushed them all away. That's what you did. So tell me I'm wrong. Of course, like, not all women are like that. There's some good ones out there, but just good people in general are becoming more and more difficult to come by nowadays, it seems. It is what it is. Yeah. Assuming that, hello, big time Charlie, good to see you again. So basically, yeah, so we got like, yeah, oftentimes children don't even get to the age to procreate, so that's why they say 2.4 is about right, because oftentimes, you know, with things like cot deaths and stuff like that, and childhood diseases and things like that, and they never even get old enough to even have children. So those that, you know, make it enough to be able to have children, then 2.4 would actually be the right number. So if it's any below that, then that's go find the one, Charlie. All right, you've just been I don't know. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't be so like desperate, but yeah. But you go on. Oh goodness. I've had 2 wives and 5 kids, 3 in their 20s. Thank you. So why do you need to like I don't know, have any more then? I don't know why you would need to bother at this point. You've already had that stuff, so I don't know. But it's up to you really, but yeah. Sounds like you've had it good, even if you've ended up getting divorced or whatever, but at least you got something out of it. So yeah, sounds like you've done your part. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How many children will I have? I don't know, because I was actually making a comment on someone's video, because I'm in kind of 2 minds, because I want to be able to have freedom in my life, and you got to think, like, if you're having children, then you've got like 18 plus years of basically no freedom. I mean, unless you can set your life up in a way where you can sort of have like still have the life that you want, because there's a lot of responsibility. But you could, if you're making a lot of money, then it gives you a lot more freedom. So that's part of the reason why I want to make like a good amount of money, because then it gives you more freedom. I'm 29 years old, Ottoman, so it gives you a bit more freedom if you're sort of, you know, if you're making bank, because you might be able to like pay for like people to, you know, take care of your children temporarily while you're doing other things, and it just, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just like, I don't think it's a good idea to have children when you're broke anyway, because you're not going to be able to give them the best upbringing. But when you're making like a lot of money, then it opens a lot of doors. Like, you can even put them in like private education and stuff like that. So, or another option is if you can set up your income to be almost like passive, then you can raise your own children with like education and like do home education. So you can teach them the stuff that you want to teach them, because the problem is a lot of the education is bad. I don't know about private education, but you'd have to find schools where they actually don't teach all this woke crap, and because I wouldn't necessarily want them to be taught all this nonsense at school, because I'd have to then try to undo all that brainwashing of it, and yeah, because that's not something I really would want them to be being brought up with. Like, I wouldn't want, say if I had a daughter, if she was being brought up with feminism and getting all these ideas in her head that she's the, you know, this and that, and then just like kind of ends up realizing when it's too late that she's fucked up her whole life. And yeah, so yeah. Oh yeah, well,
I'm not really someone that's trying to get with anyone right now, but I don't know. Like, if I really wanted someone that badly, I guess I'd probably be with somebody, but right now I'm just trying to kind of, I think it's just, I mean, I feel like I'd rather get myself to a point where I feel like I'm ready for that, like, in terms of financially, in terms of my own kind of, success and whatever, and just spend the time to get myself established. I think it's more important right now for me, but if someone comes along, that's great. But like I said, oftentimes they're waiting at the finish line for a guy who's already made it. It's great if you can find someone who will, you both start at the bottom and you work your way up together. That would be great. It'd be great to have that. But unfortunately, it isn't really the case, because they just, a lot of times they just see you as somebody to get resources out of. Or, hello Anton, how you doing? Good to see you again. Or just to be able to share in your lifestyle. Like, for example, if you've now upgraded to live in a nice house, they're going to want a part of that. As long as you're not like really ugly or whatever, but if you're even just like an average looking guy, let's say, and you're making it good in life, then they're going to be like, I quite like what this guy's got going on. I want to be part of it, even if they don't really like you that much. But then the problem is that you don't know if they're actually genuinely with you because of you, or because of your material possessions or whatever, and the status that you have. Maybe you've got a lot of connections, and then they can kind of, leech off of that or whatever, or it just kind of gives them, some kind of like, because then they'll be able to show off to their friends and all that. Oh, look at me, I've got this rich husband or whatever, and it's like, you're just so narcissistic and full of yourself, aren't you? It's like, but guys do it as well, where they'll show off this beautiful woman that they've got. So just a lot of people can be quite narcissistic at times and care a lot about what other people think about them, and they want to show off their wealth and everything. Hello Paulina, how you doing? Good morning to you. Like the live, everybody, share the live, subscribe if you're new here. Don't settle. No, that's it, because a lot of guys will just kind of settle for mediocrity because they're desperate. So I was watching this guy last night where he's talking about, he doesn't want to settle because, he's talking about as in settling down and that, and because actually he was made a message in the chat, and he was saying actually that he would like to have a family at some point, but he feels like right now isn't the moment. They're just trying to focus on, getting a lot of money and getting himself ready for that, but really just trying to enjoy life right now and experience different cultures. Because the thing is, when you're young, you want to try and enjoy those years. You really want to, especially if you're a guy, you want to enjoy those years when you're young. Women have like more of a like biological clock, but men should try and probably try to just spend some time trying to to build up their finances and just have some experiences. But and then you've got the women who will just kind of like, you've got the woman that comes into your lap like once you're ready, basically, because it'll get to a point where she can't like ignore you anymore because you're that in demand. If you're let's say you're a top 1% guy, like, that you're in demand, but you're short supply. This is why it becomes, so a lot easier. It's all to do with supply and demand. I know it doesn't sound very romantic or anything like that, but it's just, I kind of see it like the job market, and like I see that dating is very much similar to that, in that how you would go on a date, and that's kind of like your interview, and it's like, yeah, having a stronger experience in life is the greatest knowledge for your children. Yeah, definitely. So I think having some experiences before you have children is a good idea. I don't think necessarily being too much of a hustle bro might be a good idea, because then you might be missing out on having friends, and you just become this awkward guy, and it might even in turn make you less money because you're less social, you're less able to deal with customers and things like that. So I think having a balance of interacting with people is a good idea, because you can sort of learn how to socialize, and sort of that, which will help you to become more of someone that can just seem like a genuine person. It's just not some kind of awkward kind of like otherwise you become like Mark Zuckerberg basically, or someone like that, one of these awkward kind of like, hey, I'm Mark Zuckerberg. I'm really a human, and I have all the human features. Yogi's on. Okay, see you later. Who's still here? Having a father that is only 18 years is older than you is no expert in life. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's like, you want someone that you can look up to for like wisdom and advice and all that. You don't want someone who, is still quite, relatively quite, non-wise, shall we say. Kind of wisdom comes with age. But yeah, we look to elders for wisdom because they've had more life experiences than we have. But at the same time, though, they can be a bit out of touch in some ways. So I think we need to have some balance, have some older people in our life as well as some younger people in our life, I suppose. But as long as they're not like too out of touch with things, then. But I think there's a certain balance with that. If they're too many generations behind, then like your grandparents and great-grandparents, oftentimes they can be out of touch with things, and they don't understand the way that things are because they haven't grown up in this time, so they can kind of fall behind times and say things that could be seen as a bit ignorant. Like when, for example, you get the boomers who'll be like, talk about like how young people are really lazy, but it's like, yeah, you could say some of are like that, but it's like, well, can you blame them? Because times have changed, and it's like sometimes it's like they just don't seem to get that times have changed. As like, with things like the dating market and things like that, and how a lot of guys are just kind of just giving up because they don't really feel like the juice is worth the squeeze. I'm not saying that they're necessarily right with that, but I can see where they're coming from, kind of thing. It's like, because if you're kind of just dealt this shitty hand in life, and then how's it going, Charles? How you doing, Dale? Good to see you again. It's amazing to think what 18-year-olds used to be in early times, looking at 1776, for example. Yeah, I've seen like how, because I remember like talking to my grandmother, like she would already be at work at like 14, 15 years old, I think 15 years old, and my grandfather was probably at work at like 13 years old, 14 years old, because like they grew up a lot faster, they had to. So it's like people are growing up a lot slower nowadays because they don't need to. They're like going to school till they're like, well, they have education. Literally, education's mandatory until you're like 18 now. You have to go to some form of education or training or whatever until you're at least 18. So yeah, it's just kind of causing a lot of people to become immature, and times have changed. And also now since with COVID and everything, and a lot of these young children growing up are going to be very immature now, because I think they found something like a 20-point drop in IQ or something like that. Crazy. It's like, so we've got all this, they're being brought up with all this technology, and it's just frying their brains. It's literally called brain rot for a reason. It's like, it's literally rotting their brain. All this nonsense they're watching, it's not educational, it's not anything that's going to benefit them really in any way. It's just overstimulating, and it's just kind of turning their brains into mush. And yeah, a lot of Peter Pans out there. What do you mean? Oh, you mean Peter Pans? Yeah, technology's made us dumber. Yeah, was it smartphones? Stupid people. yeah. So it's funny how all these things that are smart are actually making people dumber. Yeah. Because it's like, you look at your smartphone and it's like, you can put like a freaking calculator on it, so you don't have to like, oh, what's 1 + 1, and you can just put it into a calculator. It's all on your phone now. Oh, what's the time? Or just read these numbers on a screen instead of actually having to look at a real clock, because it's just like, yeah, everything's become so convenient. But I think convenience is a trap, because people become kind of like, like this, what if they're not able to actually function anymore, and they rely on that then, because their brains have just become so fried from all this instant gratification. So yeah, anyway, you're right, Jimmy, one has to do well with the cards they've been dealt. Yeah, exactly. Not all of us have been dealt the best hand, but we have to just kind of, just try to deal the cards the best that you can. And not compare yourselves to other people, because yeah, someone might have it better than you. But the thing is though, sometimes being dealt a worse hand can actually be a blessing in disguise, because you tend to appreciate things more, because the things you had to work hard for, you tend to appreciate more. Like, yeah, for example, if someone was naturally able to be fit and strong or whatever, then they're not going to appreciate it. But the person who had to work hard to go to the gym a lot, to build a great physique, they're going to appreciate that more. So we've got to stop comparing ourselves to other people. Some people are going to have things easier. So what? If anything, they're probably just going to end up resting on their laurels. Like, say if they were born into riches, it's like, so what? They didn't have to work for it. They don't appreciate the struggles of it, and they're just a lot of them are just going to end up actually losing it all. It's like the people who win the lottery, like, they didn't have to work for any of that. A lot of the time they'll just make reckless decisions because they got it too quickly, and they didn't think things through. So they just end up like blowing it all up in smoke, and then a year later they're back at square one again. Like, they probably bought a bunch of expensive drugs and bought an expensive car that depreciates in value. So now it's become kind of, it ends up becoming a liability because they've got high costs on it. They end up having to sell it at a loss. But yeah, high risk. Oh yeah, cool. Thank you for the 10 likes, everybody. Peter Pan never grew up. There are a lot of males out there that don't want to grow up. Yeah, there's a lot of women as well that aren't growing up. You see a lot of these modern women who are also acting very stupid as well now, because they're acting like they're that they'll never age and that they'll never get old. That's what they think. Oh, you know, I can just go sleep around, and that's going to be a great thing, because it's like they don't have the concept of delaying gratification and just trying to just go for something more meaningful in the long term, instead of thinking about, oh, what can I do in the short term to be happy and feel pleasure, because that's just gonna fuck you up in the long term. It's just very much childlike thinking of being like, you know, the whole being impatient thing, and just like, are we there yet? You know, you got these annoying kids when you're like driving somewhere, it's like, are we there yet? You know, it's like those kind of people, you know, who just can't like be patient. It's like, I suppose we've all been there, but like, you get to a certain age where you should be grown up and you should be mature to a point where it's like, you understand that if you just hold on, you'll get a better reward in time. But some just don't seem to be able to do that for some reason. It's just there's these carrots dangled in front of them, and then they just take it, and not realizing that that's actually going to be their downfall. Hedonism is celebrated these days. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You know, they just want short-term fun, even if it's at the expense of long-term consequences, which is just insane to me. Like, how can someone sacrifice the long-term just for short-term gains? Like, it doesn't make logical sense, but they're not thinking logically, they're thinking with their emotions, which is actually shuts down your logical, rational, you know, thinking. Like, when you're always in your emotions, you're probably going to have low IQ and just unable to rationalize your decisions. And I think there was this thing called the chimp paradox, which is about the whole thing of, you know, sort of learning to kind of control that, because we all have these like, you know, impulses and things, and we might get triggered at something and we might want to lash out at it. But if we can kind of sort of have that kind of like introspection, and we can actually prevent these things from happening. So it's all about feelings these days. Yeah, that's it, you know. So everyone's talking about, you know, like open up about your feelings, but I think the thing is, like, yeah, I think men should probably open up a bit more in some cases, but it really depends. But if you're telling men to also cry when it's just something quite trivial, then it's turning them into beaters, and you know, it's just it's not a lot of it. I don't think a lot of the male depression is because they don't open up about their feelings or whatever. It's like, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is that a lot of men nowadays don't feel like they have purpose, and they're just feeling kind of disenfranchised, and they're, you know, I think that's the biggest thing about it, really. In fact, I think they found that something like 90% of male S rates actually sought out therapy. So it goes to show that therapy doesn't really work for men, at least not that much. Because if it did, then we'd be seeing all this, you know. So yeah, it's just shit, isn't it? But this is, like I said, with the whole, you know, you got men going right now because they feel like at least the right seems to listen to them to some degree. But all of these, because my point was that all of these, you got all these like woke feminist types, all they're gonna do is they're gonna push men further to the right, you know? All it's gonna do is just is just gonna, yeah, they're just gonna lose even more voters, aren't they? You know. So well done. You know, that's just gonna. I'm not saying I'm left or right, and I don't believe in any of that shit. But lack of fathers in them is a contributing factor. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and oftentimes it's not because the father didn't want to be there. Oftentimes the father was pushed out. Oftentimes the father was just like, you know, pushed out of their life. So they want to try and go like, oh yeah, the father was the bad guy. He just like left. No, oftentimes, of course there is that happens sometimes as well, but oftentimes the father was pushed out of their life. So yeah, it's just you know, that's I do think that is a contributing factor, and it's, you know, they haven't been brought up to be strong and you know, so but yeah, but I think that, yeah, things like social media and people are not making friends as much, but a lot of men just don't feel like they're having a purpose in life. But I think that, like, yeah, having a father in your life would probably help with that, but like, I suppose it's just a modern society where it values materialism over meaning and community and purpose and belonging. Yes, it's just the values have changed in society, which I think is quite sad, really, that material things have more value than connection. And I don't know if it's ever going to get any better. I mean, do you guys think it's ever going to get better, or is it going to get worse? Or is it going to get worse first and then get better? You know? Well, that's it, you know, we'll all welcome each other. That's what I try to do here, you know? But I don't want to be like dealing with people who are just negative and trying to, you know, sort of be nasty and all that. If people start to attack others, we're just going to get rid of them. You know, because I don't want people to feel attacked. Because you just don't know. Some people are going through some shit, and you could just be like, they might already be going through a bad day, and you're just going to make it worse. So we've got to make sure that it's that people are looked after, and because you would want that yourself, wouldn't you? You know, you'd want to be looked after, and you'd want to be looked out for. I mean, yeah. Thank you, sir, you're a scholar and gentleman. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the 10 likes, everybody. But yeah, I'll be on for a few more minutes. Yeah. But yeah, what's everybody up to today? But yeah, just have a bit of a rant today, you know, because I mean, it just sucks how things are going. But like I said, though, I think there is hope. If you're a man, just get your finances up. It's not just really about the materialism, but I think that having more money can just give you more access to things. Like, it can give you access to the world, to different cultures. You want to at least have enough money to where you can travel, I think, and experience what life is all about. Because yeah, you might say, oh, you know, I'm okay, but it's like, are you really? I think a lot of guys are coping with it. They're just saying that, oh, I'm fine with what I've got. You know, it's like, yeah, maybe you are, but like, I think deep down, you if you could, you'd like to have all the finer things in life, you know. But it's just, I think a lot of guys just don't want to do what it takes, and I think that's just again, it's another product of modern society where, you know, it doesn't value hard work. It values just complacency and just laziness, smoking weed all day. That's what it values. You know, if we started to value hard work and people started to have more of a work ethic, then you could then start your own business and you could, you know, sort of become successful and live life on your terms. I think a lot of the depression, it also comes from that. It's just the whole system that we're in, where it's like people are, working a job they hate. I think over 80% of people do not like their job. So only less than 20% of people actually like their job. So yeah, then you're working like quite a lot of hours, but usually at least maybe, I think it's usually about 40 hours a week, something like that, but which leaves you actually surprisingly with not very many hours to actually kind of yourself, because once you factor in things like commutes, things like that, oftentimes it doesn't leave you with very much at all. It leaves you with maybe just a few hours every week to yourself. Once you factor in things like chores, errands, things like that you have to do. So the only way you can really do it is to just take those few hours that you've got to yourself and use that to start up a side hustle. Find something that you can do that doesn't exhaust you, because you might already be somewhat exhausted from your day job. So try to kind of like find something semi-passive that you can run like automatically. Like maybe you could start your own, maybe you could just let out a spare room or something, and then you could invest that money in the future, and then you would then, so let's say you had a spare room, you invest, and then you rent that out, and then let's say you make, I don't know, £200 a month or £300 a month from that room. We're a busy road here, so yeah. So basically £200, £300, something like that. And then you invest all that money into the stock market. So you're investing maybe £5-10 a month, a day, £5-10 a day into the stock market. Look at the projections on how much that money could make you in the long run. If you had it in for 10-15 years, let's say, it starts to get exponentially grow. You just keep putting your money in. I'm not saying that's the best way to put your money in. Maybe you could start your own physical business somewhere, like start your own stall, start your own, I don't know, start a shop. You need money to get that started. You're going to have to pay for the equipment and things. And once you've got that going, then you can finally be free. But it's going to take that time to, to build it up to that. You're going to have to go through years of sacrifice. But like I said, most guys and most women as well don't seem to be willing to make that sacrifice for the short term, for long-term gains. It's like life is long. It's okay if we sacrifice a couple of years to get to that point. It doesn't have to be all completely miserable. You could still have a little bit, left over to do what you want, but you just have to be willing to live well below your means. What's busking playing an instrument? It can be anything. It's about performing in the street to make money. Might go try earn 20 quid busking. Yeah, well, you do what you gotta do. Yeah, probably won't. You said he made £108 the other day, which is absolutely amazing. But yeah, probably won't be today, but yeah, that's crazy though. Yeah, £108. I'd love to be able to make that. The most I made busking was about 40 quid, something like that. But yeah, I was happy even with that though, to be fair. 40 quid's not bad, is it? I think I was out for about 3.5 hours, so it's probably about the same as what I would get. It's like a minimum wage job or something. But I was actually having fun doing it, so yeah. But yeah, I've been thinking like about doing my busking stuff, so yeah. Yeah, so that'd be quite fun. £40, brilliant. Yeah, it's just about kind of, I usually would make about 20, something like that, 25 maybe, but it depends how long I stay out for. So I would do the singing and stuff, but so I've been considering whether I should do the singing or whether I should do magic, because I can do both. The thing with the singing, I can just like easily get, you know, just the random tips and stuff, but when it comes to like the magic, it's just I would like to do that, but just trying to draw a crowd, that's the issue. Like I'd love to do the magic tricks. I'm just a bit, commit more as it's Christmas and people actually very kind usually. People just tend to be a bit more kind of, I guess it's because it's the season of giving, isn't it, I suppose, so you can make the most of that time of year. You just gotta try and make the most of it, really. As long as you're wrapped up, then it's not too bad. Yeah, but I would like to do the magic stuff, but I'm actually try and, because I have this like old mate that I'm going to try and meet up with, like, and when I start it, I'm going to try and get him to try and arrange a day where I'm going to get there and get everybody from my area, from where I used to live in, like Blackburn, so I can get them all to come down. We could have quite a big thing going on if we can get a dozen, 2 dozen, or 3 dozen people, like, to come out and support. If they could spread the word out, and maybe that would, you know, draw a crowd, and it would do well, hopefully. So yeah, it's just hello Prince to Leaf. Fuck off. You keep being obsessed with earning money, and it's like, yeah, so I really can't be asked, like, with you, you know, so you're always obsessed with, like, yeah, it's just these people just like, where they get all fucking nosy and all this shit, and like, I don't know. I've seen that also, Anton. Oh yeah. All right. Got busted. You mean like he got busted by the police or something, or you mean just like got exposed as like a fraud? You mean? Yeah. I don't know. I've not seen that one. I just remember that. Has anyone ever seen the Mr. Bean's Holiday? And he's like miming to a song, and he gets like loads of money. Yeah, he's like in Paris, I think it was, what, because he gets like, he wins a trip to, well, he's actually cheated, but yeah, he won a trip to Paris or something. No, it was to Cannes Festival or something, and he had to get to, oh no, he was trying to get to Cannes Festival or something, whatever. The whole, like, yeah, I'm trying to remember like how it all went, but yeah. And if anyone ever seen that, but yeah. Because that came out when I was like still a kid, but yeah. So I used to like watching those Mr. Beans. It was kind of, I thought it was kind of funny at the time, but yeah. Exposed by a member of the public. Oh yeah. I bet that was quite awkward to happen. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna get going, and I'll yeah, probably see you all later. yeah, so I'll probably get off now. What we're saying just before I go was, anyone want to ask anything? What time we're on now? It's 10:30. So yeah, all right, guys. I'll let you all enjoy your day. All right, until next time. Peace out. Bye.